Hi, I'm Daniel Wars, guest artist for the Wichita Falls Museum of Art, MSU, Texas. And today I'd like to talk about simple shading techniques using pastels. We'll start off with oil pastels. The thing you need to know about oil pastels is they're very heavy, so you want to apply a lot of pressure. And for starters, you want to start off going from dark to light. So I'm going to start off in this example using shades of blue. So, as I said, we'll start off using our darks and just go from forward to back. And you want to give it a good coating on your surface. And with pastels, you want to use a good heavy paper, something with a lot of teeth, because you want to get your pastels really ingrained into paper. The other thing you want to remember to do is when you're going over your colors, you want to get the light color to go a little bit over the darker color, as you see I'm doing here. This is going to help you blend it a little bit as you get to that point. And it's going to smudge a little bit. As you can see, I've already done a little bit, but don't worry about that because you can blend it in later. And there's different ways you can blend. You can use a tissue, you can use a blending tool, you can use paper. But the way I prefer is I like to use my finger. Now there's pros and cons with using your finger. For one, you'll tend to get some oil residue on your paper, and that can cause problems down the road, especially if you're doing large works of art, because eventually it'll build up and that can cause problems. So you want to consider other methods. It just depends on how large a scale you're doing on your particular piece, so you have to experiment a little bit. And also you want to keep a wet towel handy to get the residue off. Otherwise, you're going to blend some of the colors in that you may not want to. And you'll also want to apply a lot of pressure, especially with the oil pastels, to really get it in there and to really get that blend going. Because again, the pigment from the oil pastels is very thick, and if you really want to get a nice transition of a blend, you're really going to want to get it in there really good. So then you'll want to come in from time to time and go in again from your lighter colors, go over your darker colors periodically as you see fit. So my transition from my dark blue to my lighter blue isn't quite what I want it to be. So I'm going to go over it a little bit more and get it to the gradient a little bit nicer transition, a little bit smoother transition. Likewise with my white. I want the transition a little bit nicer, so I'm going to go over and apply white directly over this blue that I applied. And I'm going to go in and just rub it in some more. And get that gradient to kind of blend some more. Let's see, I got a little bit of the blue residue on my fingertips that I don't want. So I'm just going to wipe it off and go back in and just rub it in and get a little bit more of the transition. So you just want to keep blending until you get the consistency that you want. You really want to rub it in there. You just keep this process going and going until you get the desired effect that you want. So you get the idea. So I think it's starting to transition pretty well. I think I like what I'm seeing. So now we're going to move on. We're going to try chalk pastels or soft pastels. There's two different versions. Some are depending on which ones you get and which grade you get. But I went with soft pastels. So again, you want to go from dark to light. And these are very different from oil pastels in that they're very brittle and they're very sensitive. So you're going to do the opposite. What you're going to do is you're going to start off and apply very little pressure. So, and you'll get a sense for a feel of how much pressure to apply and how little to apply, because they'll break very easily. So I'm going to put a little bit of red initially. I can always go back and put more. Just a little bit of red on top. And now I'm going to go in and put some orange. And again, I'm going to put my lighter color over the red because I want that to blend. As you can see, when I put the orange over the red, it automatically started to blend a lot easier because of the nature of chalk. And now I'm going to go in with my yellow. And as you can see, as I'm putting the chalk over the orange, it's already starting to blend almost on its own. Although I will go in with my finger and blend as well. It's a lot more malleable with the chalk, a lot more than it is with the oil. And again, you're going to want to go in and try to keep your hands as clean as possible, otherwise you're going to... So we're just going to go in here and blend with our fingertips. As you can see, the chalk blends a lot more fluid. It's a lot more easier to blend than the oils were. So I'm going on top and do the red. And you can get it as rough or as smooth as you want. It's up to you. So that's a pretty smooth transition. So I might even want to go in, and because it's so sensitive, maybe if I wanted to get the reds really red, I might go in and just get a sharper, crisper edge on top. Say if I was doing a sunset, I might really want those reds to be really red. So as you can see, the two types are very, very different, and you get a very different look and feel depending on which ones you're going to use. And you have to play around with it a lot, and the paper plays a big role as well. So as you start to experiment with chalk and oil, paper plays a big part in it. So you want to experiment with your paper weights and the texture of the paper as well. So I hope this was helpful, and I would invite you to go to our YouTube page at Wichita Falls Museum of Art at MSU, Texas. And I would also encourage you to, as you do your drawings, to hashtag WFMA at home and share your pictures with us. And don't forget to visit us at the museum and our various exhibits, including the Clifford Berryman exhibit that runs through the end of November. So again, I hope this little demonstration helped, and hope to see you again. Thank you.